Speedway.
Let's go! Let's go! I'm only 30 minutes away from the track. Pack your stuff. We're going. Let's go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
Joining us for another episode is our new graphic designer, Dalton Good. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me on again. Yes, that's right. I signed the. Oh, let me get the pin here. I signed the contract. I am now the official graphic designer of the Stock Car Spectacle. New logos this weekend. A new official Stock Car Spectacle logo and new backgrounds for Ian's Pit Stop, Nick Kinzel's Classroom, and Gamble's Picks. I hope you guys like them.
Hell yeah, buddy. We love them.
Yes, sir. Always killing it, buddy.
That's what I like to hear.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So this is Ian's Pit Stop. This is the show where we bring you off-track topics, silly season news, and everything around there. And this is going to be a sad one here because we're going to be talking about the 2021 schedule. And if you guys don't know, the three of us from the Stock Car Spectacle are from the Chicago area. We have lost Chicagoland Speedway, and Nick is about to pour one out for the homies.
He's 21 now, boys and girls. He can do this.
So we have lost Chicagoland Speedway, our track that is near and dear to our heart, the one that is close to home to us. And we have lost some of the best mile-and-a-half racing that we have ever seen is officially gone. I am just absolutely heartbroken, guys.
I'm gutted.
Yeah.
I've been going to Chicagoland. My first race there was 2012, and I've been camping there ever since. The really disheartening thing is that we didn't even get a proper goodbye with COVID. They took Chicagoland off the schedule this year because of COVID, which really sucks. So really my last moment at Chicagoland Speedway is Alex Bowman winning a fucking race. I don't want to see that shit. No, it just really sucks because the racing at Chicagoland Speedway was great. The drivers loved it. It's a multi-groove racetrack. You can run anywhere from the bottom to the top, and it just put on great shows. But more than that, it's a place that gave some of the best memories that I've ever had in my life. We went down there on Wednesdays and would camp there, and it's just you meet some of the best people there. You just have some of the greatest times. So I'm really going to miss it, and NASCAR, this one's for you.
It's where me and Mike officially met.
Yeah. Yeah, like what really hit me first, obviously once I got over the initial anger, was just really, really sad. Just all the fun memories, the things that we've done at that track. I became the official, I should say, third member of the Stock Car Spectacle with a boozed up Ian walking me. So you like to talk NASCAR, huh? Oh, okay, sure. You're gonna be on our podcast now. Like, didn't even ask. Just so I was like, okay, you're on our podcast now. I was like, oh, all right, cool. Guess I'm part of the show now. All the memories we made there, Nick. All the shenanigans we've gotten into camping and all the other stuff going on there. I mean, we've literally made lifetime friends. Think of the group that comes over to your dad's now on Sundays or whatever day the races happen to be. 85% of those people now are people we solely know from camping at Chicagoland. Like, how crazy is that? So, I really wish we would have got one more, like, hey, this is going to be the last final Chicagoland weekend, really gone out with a bang because, you don't know it's the last one. And obviously I've never taken a Chicagoland weekend for granted ever, but you'd savor it even a little bit more if you knew it was the last one.
It was just, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my first time there, I went with my dad in 2008. It was a great time. We unfortunately saw Kyle Busch win that race. But regardless, some great memories there. I went back in 2010. I saw David Rudiman win that goddamn race. That was freaking wild. And just so many great memories. Last year was probably the best year I have ever had at Chicagoland with these boys right here. They really showed me what it's like to camp there and have fun at NASCAR races, because I always just drove every year back and forth to the track from my house because it was about 30-minute drive. But I am sure gonna miss it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
see, that's the thing too, is kind of what you just talked about too, Ian. It's like that's what really made my passion for NASCAR go from like, hey, this is something I really like and I like to watch on TV and all that, to just being around the sport, how close we've got to be to the action with garage passes and stuff. Um, that's what made me full on fall in love with the sport, the fans, the culture around the sport, and everything that goes around with NASCAR. That's what made me fall in love with my experiences in Chicagoland. That first full weekend I did with you guys, man, I was absolutely blown away. I remember driving home and I almost had a tear in my eye because we had to wait a whole year to do it again. So, yeah, that's for
yeah.
one of those things I'll always be forever grateful to Chicagoland for, and just man, just sucks it's over.
I'm just absolutely gutted because I got treated like a king at Chicagoland from the moment I stepped in there. All the memories that me and Mike had with Trevor Bain, meeting him and everything, until last year when with Daniel Hemrick coming to our campsite, like just those things. That's what makes you love the sport even more. And now that we're
Yeah.
losing our home track, like place I've been going to for 9 years now, it really sucks. I hope this isn't the end of Chicagoland for good, but it's just not looking good right now. So, like I said, here's to you, Chicago.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we see some kind of resurrection like Nashville Super Speedway, kind of. Um, but I don't think it's going to be like a thing where it's going to come back in 2022. I think it's going to be a few years, or hell,
If ever.
if they actually do ever go back there, in case they do end up leveling the whole track and putting a bunch more Amazon fucking warehouses in there.
See,
I just don't
that
fucking
Yeah.
get it. This is complete
that's
bullshit. We're
that's the
losing one of the
thing.
best tracks in the NASCAR
Yep.
circuit, and we're gonna fucking replace it with a second goddamn Atlanta race. And we're having 6 fucking road courses and all this stupid bullshit.
See, I
And we're
knew I
ruining one of our best
yeah,
races of the year in Bristol by throwing
I
dirt on it, pretending we're
yeah.
playing PlayStation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew Chicagoland was in trouble a couple months ago when that initial report came out that they wanted to take some land from there and make it a warehouse space. I knew right then and there that from that Adam Stern tweet that we were in trouble, and then getting that official report, it just doesn't feel real. It really doesn't. And
No.
none of us here, I don't think anybody in our group chat is happy with how the schedule turned out. I mean, six road courses just absolutely unheard of. I thought we were perfect with 3. Sure, you want to add 4, go for it. And then we're throwing dirt on fucking Bristol. Like, you're gonna take one of the best racetracks we got. Sure, the spring numbers are down, but throwing fucking dirt on it, that race is going to be terrible because these are cup drivers. How many of them have the dirt experience? You can just give that trophy to Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell right now. So there's just so many things with the schedule that I'm not happy with. But it's
Yeah.
NASCAR. It's a business. It's Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell just fucking shit up.
Yeah. See, my biggest problem with the whole thing is, they look at the attendance as to like a big factor. And obviously that's probably one of the biggest reasons that Chicagoland's getting cut is because the attendance isn't great. When it's in the middle of nowhere really near Chicago, you're 45
Yeah.
minutes away from the city and you're in the middle of Joliet where there ain't shit going on there. And I like that area a lot. I like Joliet, but there ain't nothing really to do out that way. I think it's kind of a shitty thing for 2 reasons. Number one, with the sport where ratings have been down mostly in the last couple of years, although they are coming back this year. You would think that they would do everything they can to preserve a track that puts on great racing. That if an average fan flipped on and saw that slide job move a couple years ago with Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, that would be like, holy shit, I'm gonna start watching NASCAR. That was awesome. Um, you would think they would try to do more to help a place like that, other than have some bullshit carnival last year as being your biggest thing to try to help everything out. You would think they try to do more in that kind of aspect. And yeah, I always just felt like the other thing I was gonna say, I just felt like they've never really done anything to help Chicago, and they've always just talked about like there being some big problem with the market, problem with the area, and all that, but then they don't do anything about it. I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure there's more of that gets into stuff that we don't even know about as far as like the land, ownership, stuff like that. But feel like they never did anything to really help that.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-oh. Dalton, what do you got going on over there? You just went to the whole thing.
Our
Whoa.
guy's naked. The rated R superstar.
This whole show is about to be rated R. We're about to get kicked off YouTube.
Hey.
Oh, is that a Chicagoland win shirt?
Sorry about that. Rest in peace, Slide Job.
One of the greatest races that I've ever seen in my life was that race right there. That whole slide job. Just that whole day. Yeah, and then his post race interview, like that was just gold right there when he did a little crying face, and then when he said, you like this kind of race and don't even watch. I just remember sitting in the stands. I didn't see the contact that Larson had with him up in turn 2. So when Kyle Busch spun him out in 3 and 4, I was like,
we were pissed.
I was like, what the fuck was that? Like,
I was
that's a
booing the hell
bullshit
out of him.
That's a bullshit Kyle Busch move right there. But walking back from the track, watching the replay, I was like, oh, I kind of see it right there that he owed him one right there. But the last 2 years at Chicagoland, we saw 2 of the best races. With last year Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson battling, and then 2 years ago Slide Job. We got treated there to some really awesome racing.
Yeah,
we really have. So yeah, with that announcement, with Chicagoland Speedway not being on the 2021 schedule, Kentucky is also not on schedule, but I don't really give a fuck about Kentucky. I'm glad it's gone.
That was a good move right there.
It was. Kentucky. It was, but we're still keeping 2 fucking Pocono dates. Well, it's a doubleheader, but we still got 2 fucking cup races. We got 2 Atlanta races now because they want to put that casino resort in there. So it's just a train wreck of a schedule. So we start off the 2021 schedule at the Daytona road course with the Clash. We kind of known that for a while that they were going to be doing that. And we got the duels, and we got the Daytona 500, and then we're going to Homestead right after that, which is smart. Stay in the Florida area. Then we're going to Auto Club for one last time before they demolish that and make it into a half-mile track.
God, that fucking bullshit too, man.
Yeah, until they make it into a video game creation.
Yeah.
Dalton hasn't said a word this whole time. He's like, man, these boys are just going hard right now. Your face has been great, though.
Okay, guys. I think Trevor Bay's going to have to force you guys to get rebaptized with all the language.
We're going to have to put in, hey, watch your language, man, just the entire time.
I'm not going to see anything.
I'm in for every cuss word.
The only thing I'm going to see in this video is that edit. But anyway, I want to go back to Chicago. Now, listen, I am not a Chicagoland native like you guys. I am a Bristol, Tennessee native. Born in Bristol in just a sec, by the way. Now, see, here's the thing about Chicago. Look, I know I screw around with you guys a lot. I know I make jokes constantly. I know you guys don't take me seriously. But listen, man, I really feel sorry for you guys losing Chicagoland. Like, no, seriously, man, I really, really do. I personally don't know what it's like to lose your hometown track. But, I bet it's painful, I hope I never had to experience that. I really hate you guys had to. But, the thing is, I just don't like how some people are saying, well, Chicagoland wasn't that good anyway. We got to get rid of it. I'm like, guys, come on. You may not like it. You may like it. But, this is your hometown track. These people go to Chicago, to have a good time. This is their favorite track to them. And, you got to think about the people that just lost their hometown track. So guys, and that's unfortunate because I actually like Chicago. I hate mile and a halves, and I do agree we need to get rid of a lot of them. But this one was why I didn't mind watching because tracks like Chicagoland, Las Vegas, Kansas. Mile and a half tracks like Chicagoland, Las Vegas, Kansas. Those 2-lane mile and a half tracks. Those are my favorite kind of mile and a half tracks. Those are the ones I don't mind having 2 days a year. Those are the tracks I don't mind going to with the 550 horsepower package. I enjoy watching those. And of course, the 2018 Chicago lane race was the best Chicago lane race of all time. I may be biased, but anyway.
No, it was phenomenal.
No, it definitely was.
I love Chicago lane was always such an underrated race for me. I remember watching it at North Carolina in 2010 when David Rudman won, and that was in my opinion one of the most underrated NASCAR races ever.
Oh yeah.
I love Chicagoland Speedway at night, and also the 2008 finish between Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. Uh, but then I will admit I kind of lost the love for it when they moved into the playoffs. Uh, it just kind of lost its luster when they made that happen. But then they finally moved it back to summer, and of course the slide job kind of revived it. But again, like I said, I feel sorry for you guys. I really hate you guys lose Chicago. I'm actually upset about it too. But see, the thing I want to tell you is, I was kind of not surprised. Because like you said, Nick, there were a lot of rumors going around about demolishing Chicago, turning it into an industrial park or whatever they want to do to it. And I just figured, like after they made that announcement, I was hoping it wasn't true, but I just had a feeling, whether it was or not, that just kind of gave me a bad feeling that it wasn't going to last forever. I was hoping Chicago Olympic Stage just for your guys' sake, and also for my sake too, because I really wanted to go to Chicago and camp with you guys. Like, I mean, we were already talking about, going to Talladega next year or camping somewhere, and I really wanted to come to Chicago one day and camp with you guys, just have a weekend of my life, and now I don't get to anymore. So that's just my thoughts on it, man. I'm really sorry. Rest in peace, Chicagoland, and fuck you!
I'll go ahead and agree with something you said wholeheartedly. Is, man, the racing from when they changed it from the playoffs to the summer did that track wonders. The two races I attended while it was still in the playoffs were a little bit lackluster because I feel like the cooler Chicagoland temperatures didn't bode well with that racetrack.
What, the back-to-back Truex wins?
Yeah. Then those two races, once it got hot and sweaty and sticky in the summer, man, holy crap, talk about night and day experience. That place was awesome.
Oh, absolutely. So, guys, we just got to go and drive out to Chicagoland Speedway, crack open an old style and pour one out for the track that we love so much, because it's going to be weird, and it's going to be weird with whatever they turn into it, because we're always just going to drive by there and be like, oh, damn memories, man.
Well, once COVID's over, I'm bringing a big ass bottle of Jack down there, and whoever's coming with, we're just gonna pass that shit around.
You know what? We were talking about this yesterday during the Cubs game. We're gonna message Chicagoland Speedway, try and take Chicagoland Speedway as our own for the Stock Car Spectacle Studio.
Just gonna break in there.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. You can make some good break in
there. Ian's pit stop will film on pit road.
All right.
How cool would it be if they're like, yeah, you know what? While Everett's standing, you guys go ahead and use the press box.
Nothing else is going on at that track. IndyCar doesn't run there anymore. NASCAR doesn't run anymore. So it's open.
Yeah, go for it.
Might as well. So let's get into another big one. We've kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, the Bristol dirt race, guys. So they said that they were looking at how successful Eldora has been with the Truck Series, and then they decided, okay, yeah, Eldora's really cool. It's a dirt track. Let's put dirt on Bristol. Let's just, let's light up the crack pipe and put dirt on Bristol, because fuck it. They have it in NASCAR heat. Let's just do whatever fucking video games are doing now. So they're having the NASCAR Cup Series run on dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway, ruining a really good spring race for Bristol. So I don't know what the fuck they were smoking with this idea, but good God, the Cup Series does not need a dirt race, at least at Bristol. At least if you are going to have one, bring it at Eldora.
Maybe they were smoking some pandemic special.
I got ready about that too. All right, so I'm a Bristol, Tennessee native, like I just mentioned, so I guess I should give you my 2 cents. I hate it. You heard it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Come back. There are so many people offended on Twitter for me saying I don't like it. I'm like, dude, how can you not like it? How can you not like it? This is what we wanted. You're one of those people complaining. Shut up. Listen to me. I'm about to tell you why this is not going to work, okay? You listen out there. Number one, okay? These Cup cars do not belong on dirt, period. And I don't think you can make them run on dirt. Do you not know how much downforce these cars have? Come on, So that's number one. And anyway, so here's why. Okay, look, if you really want to do a cup race on dirt somewhere, whatever. Go to Eldora, go to the Charlotte dirt track. I don't care. You can go Nashville here too. I mean, Nashville does dirt tracks, so I mean, go there. But if they want to do it at Bristol, that was a terrible move. I don't approve at all, and here's why. And again, I mean, if you want to do it, that's fine. But here's why it will not work. Do you guys know what date it's on?
It's in
March
March.
28th.
March 28th. And I am going to tell you this right now. I've been living in Tennessee my entire life, and trust me when I say this, I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm not overreacting. I am actually being dead serious because I actually pay attention to this. March and April are the wettest months of the entire year in East Tennessee. I'm telling you right now, for the past 3 years in East Tennessee, we've had floods because it would rain the entire month of March and the first 2 weeks of April, then it'll finally stop. And it would always be flooding. The creek would always. Oh, by the way, Bristol's near a creek. You know how much it floods every time we go there when it rains in the spring race. So that's why it's going to be a disaster. You see, I understand that you wanted to revive the Bristol spring race because I know the attendance was down. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. That really is true. What you should have done was move the Bristol spring race to a later date. May 31st, when they were scheduled it for, the COVID pandemic, that would have been the perfect date for the Bristol spring race to come back. And I promise you, if fans were allowed at full capacity, which I know they weren't, I guarantee you it would have had the same attendance that the Bristol night race would have had under full capacity. That right there is what you should have done. Not make this. I'm going to tell you this right now also. Bristol fans do not care about if it's going to be a dirt race or not. If it's on March 28th, they are not going to go. I promise you that. The reason why they don't go is because the weather's, like I said, the weather's always bad every single year. They don't want to go because this is why they always save their money for the night race. The night race always has better weather. It's always hot. It's always perfect. So people just save their money up for that. I have some friends that do that. They don't go to the spring race. And I guarantee you, they don't care if it's on dirt. If it's on March 28th, if it's cold, they're not going to go. So this is a terrible mistake. I think it's going to fail. And if it does, I really don't have a problem with it. It deserves it,
Well, what really doesn't make sense to me is freaking, who was it? Steve O'Donnell was on that call yesterday, and he said that this is what the fans wanted. Like, the fans said they wanted a...
It's probably those fan councils.
Yeah, it's one of those stupid fan councils because I have never once seen anybody say, oh, yeah, Bristol on dirt would be a great idea.
No.
It's going to be a shit show waiting to happen, and I hope it tanks. I really do. I'm a NASCAR fan, but I want to see that race tank because that's a horrible idea right there.
And you know what? I'm not even going to go. I'm not. I always want to go to a Bristol race. I never want to miss Bristol, and I never have. I'm not going to count the May race when I had to miss because of COVID, so I'm not going to count that. But, I about missed the night race last year. This year, because, I had a lot of personal stuff going on. I didn't know I was going to be able to go. Thanks to Joseph Lombard for giving me those tickets. So, I got to go. But, the thing is, I never want to miss a Bristol race. But, to be honest with you, if it's going to be on dirt in March 28th, I'm just going to save my money and time off for Nashville. Why should I? I'm probably going to get a free ticket. I might go either way. I know I'm right now, but, again, this is not going to be a good move. It's Eldora's, as a matter of fact, is kind of turning off two trucks. So it is kind of becoming a failure there. So I expect the same thing to happen for the Bristol spring race. So I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's a poor execution of NASCAR for a couple fronts. And Dalton, you hit on the biggest one. I feel like it's just a misdiagnosis as to what was wrong with the spring race. Nice. The spring race wasn't broken.
The Jack and Coke first, man.
Because of anything other than, like you said, the weather. I've heard that from you. I've heard that from other people that I know that have gone to that race before. If you have one race that's during the day in cold-ass, terrible weather, or you have one race that's a night race later in the year where the weather's better and is one of the best races in the year, and you could only go to one, which one are you going to? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So, like you said, I think the move should have been move the first Bristol race into like more of the late spring, early summer, and then you move your the night race into the playoffs as it is already.
Yep.
So there you go. Then it's fixed. But
I think
you know,
as our good buddy Connor Bunn would say, this is just got
Gimmick.
gimmick written all over it.
yes. And I'm having a very hard time like objectively looking at this and seeing how 40 cars are going to slide around on dirt without there being 6,000 yellows.
Yeah, that is
So
just
Fucking
going to
turn the
be-
yellows off for that race, I guess.
Oh yeah, you might as well. 'Cause it's going to be an absolute wreck fest. Like you
Exactly.
said, the only guys that are really going to know what they're doing is Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and Chase Briscoe if he's in the Cup Series by then. But
Austin
just-
Dillon's got some dirt experience too.
Yeah.
Austin Dillon won the
There's
first
guys that have
race.
dirt experience. I think it's so odd that most of these guys, other than Bell and Larson and Stenhouse, that go back and run dirt all the time, in their, they're like these guys probably haven't driven on dirt in years. Some of them was like, oh, by the way, points paying race. Here you go, boys and girls. So if this was the All-Star race, all right, cool, whatever. That would have been a really cool idea for the All-Star race where you have a shorter field out there and you could have done it in like heat races. But for this to be a points paying race is like, what the hell are we doing?
It should. What I don't. What the hell was I gonna say? Fuck. No, I
lay off the Jack and Coke, bud.
I am the liquor.
No.
Yeah, but that is just going to be very, very odd to see Bristol with dirt on there.
I wonder what the distance of this race is going to be. How many laps is it going to be? How many miles are they going to try and run here? Because are people really going to pay for like a 100 lap show? Like how many laps do they really expect these guys to be able to complete? Is what the big question is going to be, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing I got to mention about back to the rain real quick. You know, a lot of people are saying that dirt cars can run in like light rain. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to flood that year. It rains.
They're going to have mudslides.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be so flood is not even funny. And plus, they're right near a creek too. That's also going to affect it. So what if the track is so flooded you can't run on it? What are you going to do? You know, how you going to schedule it? The first time that happens, that's when you should just cut it. Don't ever do it again.
Right. Exactly. Well, there's a couple questions too. Like, look at the Eldora dirt race with the trucks. They don't have pit stops. You know, they just run their race and they don't have pit stops. Are they gonna pit at Bristol? How are you gonna get to pit road in a dirt car?
Yeah.
Like, I just have so many questions that at this point it just seems like such a dumb idea. But I'm sure for your new fan, where cars crashing into each other and going crazy, this is awesome. But once again, this isn't racing. This is not NASCAR racing.
Yeah.
As Connor would say, this is a gimmick. This is going to be one of those things where it'll be cool for like a year, and then 3 years into it, they'll be like, why the hell do we ever do this? This is terrible.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, guys, so now let's dig into the schedule a little bit more. Another new addition is the Circuit of the Americas. We talked about this last week, but we know Formula One races there. We saw Tony Stewart test there in his 14 Stewart-Haas Mustang. And now NASCAR is officially going to that track. So, Mike, I want to get your point of this first because I know you're the big F1 guy here.
Yeah, I think COTA is a really cool track. Lots of elevation changes. You've got a really long straightaway on that track where it's a super crazy elevation change, which is going to be a lot of fun to watch on TV. Watch the stock cars try to maneuver around there. Lots of swooping turns and things like that, like S's style turns that I think are going to make for really good racing as far as stock car racing goes. My only question as to why they would make this move, NASCAR went out of their way the last couple of years to try to acquire all the tracks they could that were on the current schedule to be able to make changes. And then we bring in a track that NASCAR has no ownership over. That part's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. But I will say, out of all the moves to the schedule, this is the one I probably like the most. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mike there. I think this has got opportunity to be a really fun one. And we lose a Texas date because of it. So even better.
Uh-oh, don't get Dalton going on Texas.
Finally! Double Texas! Love the date! Let's go! Finally! This is what needed to happen! This is exactly what I wanted to happen! Let's go! Bye-bye, Texas! All right.
Well, Texas will be getting the All-Star race though with
fuck
that
that.
addition of the Circuit of the Americas. It's the All-Star race. I don't really give a crap where it's at. So, so it'll be at Texas Motor Speedway for the All-Star race, and then after that, we're going to Nashville Super Speedway.
Let's go! Let's go! I'm only 30 minutes away from the track. Pack your stuff. We're going. Let's go!
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm getting too excited, man. Oh, this is going to be a fun episode, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so finally we got Nashville Super Speedway on the schedule. Now, I know that it's not Nashville Fairgrounds like everybody wanted, but you could thank the stupid mayors down there for that one. I mean, they're still trying to get there. Don't get me wrong. There's just a lot of issues going on for noise complaints. You already run some races there, by the way, already, and you're just now making noise complaints. Okay, sure. But anyway, and what really makes me happy about this too is that they are going to run the 750 low downforce package. Finally, Steve O'Donnell listens for once, because again, we're trying to go to Nashville Fairgrounds. We have to show Nashville NASCAR fans that we want a race here, or no, we have to show the mayors that Nashville wants a NASCAR race, at the fairgrounds. And I'm telling you right now, if they would have ran that 550 horsepower package, it would have been a dud. It would have been a complete failure. That would have been it. That was our only shot of going to Nashville gone. So I really, really do like this move. Finally, they listened for once. And I think instead of going to the Bristol Dirt Race, I think I'm just going to save my ticket for that. I mean, I only live 30 minutes away. And guys, also on a serious note, if you ever want to come down, I got a place right here. I mean, you can't stay here. There's not enough bedrooms, but you can come hang out. We'll go have a good time. So
I can't snuggle in bed with you. Darn.
Not in the
no, I don't want to.
No, but Dalton, you brought up a good point there with that 750 horsepower package. It has been announced that we're going to run 19 of the races with the 750 horsepower package. So we're going to see some really good races next year. So Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps, they did one thing right there by making more races with this package. We're going to see it at Darlington and Nashville. So I think we're in for some good treats there next year, because I was pretty skeptical of Nashville, of the quality of racing they put on in the past. But now with this package, I am a little bit more excited, and that might be a race I want to check out next year.
Yeah. Well, come on over. We'll go.
Absolutely.
You know,
my only real criticism of this is, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to have racing in Nashville. This is one, if I do attend a race next year, this is one I got circled on my calendar as potentially being one of the only or very few races I decide to attend next year. The only thing that I have some concerns with is this is once again a D-shaped, almost mile and a half. It's like a 1.3 mile track. So it's essentially, we're getting rid of Chicago and Kentucky to get Chicago and Kentucky light. So if we're going to...
No, go ahead.
So, that's my only thing is, again, I understand what they're doing. It's a proving thing to try to get to the fairgrounds, and I completely agree with this is what they got to do. It's just for next year alone, gonna have to see the racing to see what we have here.
Yeah. So I wanted to say something about it being kind of like a Kentucky clone or whatever. I mean, it's almost a mile and a half. It's another D-shaped sort of mile and a half. But, it's kind of different, like with the concrete. It's a concrete track, so, you kind of don't know what to expect, really. I feel like I need to go back and watch an old Xfinity race or a truck race just to see what we could kind of expect. But again, at the end of the day, this needs to be a success so we can get to the fairgrounds and add another short track and make this work. And if it ends up being a dud, that's going to be it. We're not going back to Nashville ever again, and we're never going to get another shot to bring it back here ever again.
Yeah, well, I hope it works out. I hope they get the fans, because it would be really, really cool to see the fairgrounds come back.
Oh, trust me, they'll be there. And also, another concern I have is that I hope they're going to upgrade seats too, because there is not that many seats in Nashville. And as a matter of fact, this is why we went to Kentucky instead of I don't know if you guys knew this, but in 2011, when NASCAR wanted to add one new mile and a half track to the schedule, it came down to a battle between Nashville and Kentucky. They wanted to go ahead and run race that Trucks and Xfinity already ran on, right? Well, it could have went to Nashville, but Dover, who owns Nashville Superspeedway, well, not anymore, they decided that they did not want to pay extra money for more seats, and that's pretty much what lost the battle to Kentucky, which is now gone. So that's another concern. I heard they were kind of add something. I hope they do because it will definitely be a sellout, but we got to get more seats there if we're going to be there for 5 years.
Yeah, if you're bringing the Cup Series there, you definitely got to have more seats, especially down in Nashville. The Bristol Night Race is a huge sellout, and I'm sure with how big of a city Nashville is, you're gonna get, I hope, a sellout.
Well, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but I went to the awards banquet party in Nashville last year. I did not go to the burnouts though. I'm a complete fool for not going there, by the way. But I went there to meet Kyle Busch in downtown Nashville, and there were a lot of people that showed up, but of course a lot more people showed up to the burnouts on Broadway. I think that's all you need to say. I mean, that kind of proves that the city of Nashville really does want a racetrack. So I think it can work. I think we'll have no problem selling out. I feel like we probably need to work on some maybe more parking at least. And also that's another thing. We could go to National Fairgrounds, but I went there last year, and it is nowhere near ready to run. I looked at it, guys. It's kind of in bad shape. It kind of looks like North Wilkesboro from the outside. No saber barriers, no good lighting. Really needs a grandstand upgrade, and the number one biggest issue about that, it has no parking anywhere. Like there's zero parking whatsoever. If you wanted to park, you're probably gonna have to walk. I'm gonna say 10 miles.
Oh,
yeah. So and there's a lot of construction going on down there too. So there really is no place to park.
So it's kind of smart to go with the super speedway right now. Hopefully during this time that they do race there, they can kind of be like, all right, we're getting the fans for this track. Let's kind of, start, revamping the fairgrounds and kind of make it into a raceable track again.
Yeah. Nashville Fairgrounds is. I would love to see Nashville Fairgrounds go because Nashville Super Speedway reminds me a lot of Chicagoland. Rest in peace. Nashville Super Speedway is nowhere near downtown. It's actually 45 minutes away from downtown, just like Chicagoland was. This is at Lebanon, Tennessee, just so you know. It is not in Nashville. Lebanon is only a 20-minute drive from my house, and I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. With Murfreesboro, 45-minute drive from Nashville. Nashville Fairgrounds is literally right close to downtown Nashville. But yeah, again, we could make this work, but overall, what people need to understand is that Nashville Fairgrounds does have a lot of work to do if they want to go back there.
Right.
I should have sent pictures, but I don't have any. But yeah, I can tell you right now, it does need a lot of work if it wants to happen.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't really realize all that. I thought it was closer to being ready, but obviously, apparently not. If you're way closer than us, so obviously we're gonna trust what you have to say on that. So
yeah.
All right. So another new addition to the schedule. We have Road America on the 4th of July. Like Dalton said in the tweet, it's kind of perfect. Road America on America's birthday. We're used to it being at Daytona. Yep, we're used to it being at Daytona, but then they switched it to the Brickyard, and so we don't know if that's ever going to come back because apparently they like Daytona being the regular season finale race. But I am pretty happy with the Cup Series going to Road America. It's pretty close, kind of close to home for us up here. It's about a 2-hour drive to the track, and I've been there 3 years now, and I've had a great time every time that I've been there. Obviously, it's a road course, so wherever you are, you really can't see the entire track. But it's nice you do get the PA announcements, and you can obviously listen to the scanners.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's going to be great. Obviously, it cannot compete with Chicagoland Speedway as our home track because, it's an oval track. You can see the racing all around. But either way, I'm excited to see the Cup Series come to Road America. Ever since I started going there, I've been saying like, why isn't the Cup Series running here? It's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for that.
I don't know. I went up to Road America with you this past year. It was a cool experience, but I am not too big on road courses, and then with Road America being a 4 mile road course, it just makes it difficult to really know what's going on because you see your little section for 30 seconds, and then it takes another minute and a half, 2 minutes before the cars are coming back around. And there wasn't really many. There was like 2 spots that had TV set up, the big monitors set up that we saw. For me, yeah, I'm not a big on road courses. I think that they kind of fucked Indianapolis here. They didn't give it a shot to run it with fans on 4th of July weekend. I think that would have been a much better turnout, or would have been much better than it was this past year. Because I like the racing at the Brickyard, and they kind of screwed the Brickyard by running on the Indy Road Course for next year. So I don't like that move either. Like I said, I'm not big on road courses. It's cool. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I think it was a cool experience, but I don't think that's going to be a track that's going to draw that many people up there, in my opinion, because it's just a 4 mile road course.
I
just don't.
mean, you
I
saw the
don't.
crowd for the Xfinity race and all that. I mean, they
Yeah,
brought a goddamn crowd.
they brought a
That's
goddamn
also
crowd.
one of the only events that you could have gone to with the
Yeah,
pandemic going on too.
and that
So
it's
Yeah.
just not a 4th of July race to me. It just really isn't. It's not going to be the same as running at a Daytona, even at the Brickyard when they ran a 4th of July weekend. That was still cool. There wasn't any fans, but I just don't see how a road course is gonna fill in those footsteps of a Daytona or the Brickyard, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I have to wholeheartedly agree with Nick here. I don't know if I necessarily hate Road America being on the schedule because I'll be the first one to say I like road course racing, but having not been there, this isn't one of my favorite races I've watched at other levels. Um, like you said, Nick, I think this being such a long track, I mean, I can't imagine going to that race and just seeing 30 seconds action to sit there for 3.5 and then oh hey, here come the cars again. It's cool that they seem to pack them in there. I would be open to the experience of checking it out maybe in the future at some point. 4th of July weekend. I don't know if that makes sense to me. I thought having kind of maybe not even necessarily a crown jewel, but an iconic NASCAR race on the 4th of July made a boatload of sense. You had the Brickyard this year. You always had the Daytona night race made a lot of sense to me. This one just doesn't do it for me. I think this is going to be one of those things you're going to see it once and be like, well, this sucked. Let's never do this again once the schedule changes again. So, all due respect to Road America, I just don't see how this, clamors with excitement as other tracks will.
All I gotta say is be ready to do some walking there. Me and Ian walked 7 miles there, so. And I just feel like when we were walking there, we weren't even like engaged with the race because we were just walking as cars going by. I don't know. That's just my whole thing on it. I think it was a little bit
Golf
more
cart.
fun. Golf cart, yeah, $500 on a golf cart, but yeah, other than that, I just don't see how it's really a fan-friendly track, in my opinion. So it's gonna be tough to fill the shoes of Daytona and Brickyard, but no disrespect, I had a good time when I went up there, but I just don't like it as a 4th of July race.
Uh, I'm actually going to disagree. I hate to be the guy that has a different opinion here, but this is one part of the schedule that I'm actually satisfied with, to be honest with you. Now again, I would like Daytona back on 4th of July. I mean, it's traditional. It had a big history. It should have never been touched, just like Darlington on Labor Day. And I'm hoping 10 years later down the road, it'll have the same outcome. We move Daytona back to 4th of July. But as of right now, with the way the regular season finale went, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. That kind of sucks. But now, Indianapolis. I know you guys love Indianapolis. That's kind of your hometown track, I guess. I just didn't think it was going to work all that well. Now, I can't really say too much because I was in Las Vegas during Brickyard 400 weekend. I went to a Ghost Adventures Museum that day, so I really didn't watch much of it. I only watched the last 30 laps, so again, I can't say too much. But again, I just don't know if Indianapolis was going to be like the best 4th of July replacement. I mean, yeah, Indianapolis, can stay on the schedule, but I just think we needed to find a perfect home for Indianapolis. I don't think 4th of July was just going to be it. But now, Road America, this was one of my favorite road courses growing up. Like, I remember when I was a little kid, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, this would always be the Xfinity race or the nationwide race that I looked forward to the most. I loved going to Road America. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite road courses that I hope they would add on the schedule. So it'd be on 4th of July. Freedom intensifies. Road America on America's birthday. It doesn't get any more American than that. But
Oh,
anyway,
absolutely.
but all seriousness. So I kind of approve of this move. But the only thing that I'm not going to like is the long caution laps. Serious question, Ian and Nick. Do they have like a shortcut they can go through to?
No. It
So
literally
no.
felt like,
what they do at Road America when there's a caution, they'll turn off the lights if they go like halfway through the lap. So, like at your normal traditional oval track, they'll turn off the lights when they get across the start finish line. They'll be in turn 5 or something, and they'll be like, "Okay, we're good to go. Let's turn off the lights and we're gonna go."
well,
So
that's
it's not like you're
because
sitting through like three,
uh,
4 laps at Road America.
well, that's
And
because pace laps at Road America are like 5-6 minutes long. In my experience, felt like half the race was run under caution. It was raining that day, yes,
well, we
but
had lightning too.
lightning,
Like,
rain. We just did not see a lot of green flag action, in my opinion. So it was just a lot of caution laps, is what it felt like to me. And those caution laps there, they fucking take like 5 to 6 minutes to get around that place under caution speed.
Well, Ian, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but they actually do that on road courses already.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
they would
sector
always.
cautions. Yeah.
But yeah, again, that part I'm not looking forward to. I wish they would build some kind of shortcut to where the caution laps won't last long, because there's going to be a lot of negative feedback about that, including from me. But overall, I'm kind of happy with the move. I'm a big fan of Road America. I would like to go there, maybe just to have fun. But this is one part of the schedule that I kind of do agree on.
Yeah, I like it. I've been going there since 2017, I think, and the first time I went there was absolutely exciting. You had that battle with Matt Tifft and Jeremy Clements, and Jeremy Clements getting his first ever Xfinity Series win. Just an exciting finish there, and that just made me love that track. That is absolutely my favorite road course, and like I said, I've been wanting this to happen ever since I've been there. So I'm happy with this addition. Gonna be on America's birthday. I'm going regardless. I'm gonna be getting a golf cart with whoever goes with me, because I'm not walking that again, because that
I don't
was
blame you.
crazy. I might just bring my bicycle, because that would be even better. But I'm so stoked for this race. Yeah, I'm excited for Road America.
All right.
All right, guys. So now let's dig into more of the schedule. We got the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road
Fuck
Course.
that. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
We
Hate
went.
it. Hate
We
it.
went.
Hate it. Hate it.
We
Hey, guess what, Ian? I hate it. I hate that move.
Hey, you want to know something? I agree with you, and I was going to continue.
Lay off the Jack and DNA for just a couple minutes.
We went there last year, me, Nick, and Mike, and a couple other people, and it was an absolute blast. We saw the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series run there. Both great races. And now they want to decide to bring it to the Indy Road Course after seeing what the Xfinity Series did there. I mean, yeah, the Xfinity Series put on a show there, but
the Xfinity cars
it's
are
just
different.
yeah, it's different, but it's just something about the Cup cars on the Brickyard track, the normal like oval that we get at the Brickyard. It's just tradition, and it just sucks to see that go away. A big crown jewel race being turned into a roval.
I get it, and I don't like it. The Brickyard has kind of lost some of its mojo from years past, but from when the three of us went there, that was one of the best times I ever had. The fan experience there was awesome, and the race was relatively exciting and entertaining. So I don't like this move at all. The Xfinity cars put on a good show there, but the Xfinity cars are not the Cup Series cars. I wish it was reversed. I wish the Xfinity Series cars were the Cup cars, because those are real race cars right there.
Yep.
But I don't like it. Too many road courses on the schedule for me. If I wanted to go watch road course racing, I'd go watch F1 and IndyCar. This is I just like I said, I'm disappointed. I'm mad that we're going off the oval, but I understand why they wanted to do it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think there's things they could have done with the cars to make this race more exciting too. as you guys know from being in the area, Indy is IndyCar territory. Most of the teams are, based in the Indianapolis area. Um, I think, getting or IndyCar, I should say, on the same weekend as Chicagoland or as NASCAR being there is a big boost for them. I think that should help uptick attendance at least. But I think that's something that should have been done in the past as well to try to help out the oval racing on the Cup side too, because I think they could have done some things with the actual package themselves to try to make the racing more exciting as well. They played around with the All-Star, or not the All-Star, they played around with the Xfinity Series a couple years ago, running like the tapered spacers there, and I thought the race was a lot of fun when they did that. Maybe we needed to look into doing something like that here, or finding something else that we could do to make this race a little more exciting. I think going to the road course is the wrong move. I think it's going to be a boring race. I'm not a big fan of the road course in Indianapolis, even on the IndyCar circuit, let alone at the NASCAR level. Like you guys said, sure, this race was super entertaining, but you also had a bunch of guys that are really good at road course racing in the Xfinity Series as well. Let's not discount that either. So that's also going to help as well. I think it's going to flop. I think it's going to be a dud move. But at the same time, by the measuring stick of what was the oval in the past, I don't know as to what level it'll be a flop. So, but yeah, like you guys said, for all the stuff that we heard about Indy being boring and terrible and nobody goes and this and that. Our personal experience there, for me at least, couldn't have been anything further from the truth. There were more fans there than I expected there to be at the racetrack based on everything it looked like on television and all that. I just think it's such an optical illusion based on how big that place is. You could have 85,000 people in there and it just looks empty. Just because of how big the track is. I mean, what sporting event in this day and age is pulling in over 100,000 plus year in and year out? It just doesn't happen. So for that to be the measuring stick that place isn't packed is, I think, very unfair for one. So yeah, and then like we said, you basically get free pit passes by the way the infield works there, which is awesome. And I thought the racing in both races when we were there were great. So this is another one I think they need to do a more around the race to help it out rather than change and reconfigure everything.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm gonna miss the old Brickyard because we went there last year and it was an absolute blast. So definitely gonna be missed. Some other additions that we have to the schedule. Darlington is getting a second race, so I like that move. Darlington is a great track. They're gonna be running it with the 750 horsepower, so I'm excited for that. Atlanta does get a second race, like we mentioned, because they're getting that whole resort casino crap that they got going on. And so that's really it for the 2021 schedule, guys, for all the crazy ones here. So I think that'll do it for us. You guys got anything else to add?
Fuck the schedule.
Real quick about the Darlington dates. The Atlanta second day I really don't care much for. I really don't think it really deserves a second date anyway. But now Darlington, however, I kind of like it because it kind of brings me back to my childhood for some reason. Like, okay, so I did not grow up with, the Labor Day Darlington like everybody else did, I kind of grew up with the Darlington being on Mother's Day weekend, running, on Saturday night, the day before Mother's Day. And it would always be like one of my favorite races of the year. Always be the race I always look forward to the most. Now with Darlington going back to Mother's Day on Mother's Day weekend this year for the second day, that it kind of brings that nostalgia back. Because again, I really loved Darlington on Mother's Day weekend. One of my favorite times of the year. It's going to be a day race, which will be kind of weird. And they're running on Mother's Day Sunday too. I don't know if I approve of that. Like, I could be saying stupid stuff right here, but I don't know if like Mother's Day is going to like affect the ratings for that. Like, I don't know if there are going to be a lot of people spending time with their moms, like going out to eat or something like that, and not watching it. So that's my only criticism about it. But I just had to say that the second Darlington Day kind of brings it back, so that's pretty cool, and even better than the 750 horsepower package, which it deserved.
That's what makes it for me is that 750 horsepower package right there. running it in the day. Those Darlington races earlier in the year when we came back from COVID, they weren't the worst races in the world.
Yeah.
They were mildly entertaining, and now that we're getting this good package, let's go. And then the
Yeah.
Southern 500, like that's just one of my favorite races of the year because I just love the whole theme of that whole weekend, the throwback cars and everything under the lights. Usually a fairly entertaining race there as it is. So 750 horsepower package, let's go. I love the move of 2 Darlington dates.
Yep,
Yeah.
couldn't agree more.
Oh.
I think it's a great move. I'm a huge Darlington fan. Just looking at the heritage and the history of NASCAR, the more we can race at a place like that, in my opinion, the better. Really a bucket list track I have to watch a race
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point in my life. But yeah, really good move in my opinion. Add another date here, another fun track, another track where driver input is big. It's just I think it's gonna be a great race. Or I should say, great move for NASCAR to add that another date onto the schedule. I think is great.
I just love the racetrack.
Yeah,
It's just so different in turns 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4. It's just such a different racetrack. It's what makes it cool.
oh yeah,
Oh.
and just how tight it is all the way around the racetrack too. It's
Yeah.
just a great race in my opinion.
Oh,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
one more thing I want to bring up about Atlanta getting 2 days. Here's why it's going to fail. Atlanta is near a repave, and you know how repave tracks always go: Texas, Kentucky. So yeah. With the second Atlanta day, it really didn't do anything to deserve it. I mean, one date was fine. And of course, when they repave, I'm going to say in about 2 years, maybe next year, it'll be repaved, and it's just going to be a complete failure. Well, we end up losing Chicagoland for absolutely nothing.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like how much longer can they go with this? They were supposed to repave that track like 2 or 3 years ago. Well, then the drivers are just like, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." At some point,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to. I mean,
Yeah. You can't leave it like that forever.
There's
It
just
looks
no
like
way.
the Chicago streets and they have potholes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. So that will do it for Ian's pit stop. This was a crazy one, but we had a lot to talk about with this new schedule. So, Dalton Good, thank you for joining us for another episode, buddy. You guys can follow him on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me, Nick, and Mike on Twitter and Instagram as well, along with the Stock Car Spectacle accounts. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all podcast platforms. And make sure to check out our buddy Patrick Cotto with the Cotto's Mojo. He's got a new episode out now, so make sure to check him out on all podcast platforms. So that'll do it for us here. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.